Good evening, everyone. Nice to see you all. It appears that we're missing Michael and Zahn, but they may be joining us at some point. And let's get started. As chair of the Guilford Selectboard, I find that due to the state of emergency declared by Governor Scott as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic and pursuant to Addendum 6 to Executive Order 01-20 and Act Zahn and Act 92, this public body is authorized to meet electronically. In accordance with Act 92, there is no physical location to observe and listen contemporaneously to this meeting. However, in accordance with the temporary amendment to the open meeting law, I confirm that we are one, providing public access to the meeting by video conferencing and telephone, with additional access offered through what I just said, where you're using Google Meet for this remote meeting. All members of the Guilford Select Board have the ability to communicate contemporaneously during this meeting through this platform, and the public has access to contemporaneously listen, and if desired, participate in this meeting by video conference going to this address, https://meet.google.com/UTA-OVPV-KIP, or by telephoning 617-675-4444, and the PIN number is 999-071-244-9121 pound. 2, providing public notice of instructions for accessing the meeting. We previously gave notice to the public of the necessary information for accessing this meeting, including how to access the meeting using the video conference platform and the telephone in our posted meeting agenda. And it is also posted at the town's website, Guilford, Vermont, Guilford, that is VT.net. 3, providing a mechanism to alert the public body during the meeting if there are problems with access. If anyone has a problem, please telephone 603-558-0891. And 4, continuing the meeting if necessary. In the event the public is unable to access this meeting, it will be continued to a time and place certain. Please note that all votes taken during this meeting all votes that are taken during this meeting will be done by roll call vote in accordance with the law. Let us start our meeting by taking the roll call. Veranda Porch.
Aye.
Rusty Marine. Zahn Eastless. And Michael Becker.
Here.
And Richard Wazansky here. Very good. And I don't see any public here, but we will certainly recognize them if they're here. Are there any, and we will also then talk about the rules of procedure which govern the interactions between the select board and the public. Are there any additions to the agenda?
Yes, I have an addition. We need to have a brief executive session to discuss a potential legal matter. And I would suggest that we do that after the warrants.
That would be fine. And does anybody object to that? Very good. Are there any changes to the agenda order?
I do not have any.
All right. Then we move along. And the minutes, I know that we've all read the minutes. Do I have a motion to approve them or to amend them? Veranda, you have motioned and Zahn has seconded. All right. Is there any discussion? I shall call the roll then. Veranda?
Aye.
Rusty?
Aye.
Zahn?
Aye.
Michael?
Aye.
Richard? Aye. The motion, the minutes of the last meeting have been approved. Thank you very much. Is there a brief highway update, Peter?
Yes, there is. I spoke with Dan earlier this morning. He and the road crew have been pretty much focusing on getting ready for winter. They're still replacing a few culverts in a variety of different places in town. They've also started cleaning the ditches of leaves. Unfortunately, the recent wind has hampered that work, so they'll have to be going back in some areas to redo that. And Other than that, they've been repairing a few pieces of equipment that have broken down in the past couple of weeks, and they've been trying to stay out of the way of the guys finishing up the roofing project.
Great. And Dan told me when I spoke to him today that the roofing project is going very well.
Yes, they're moving very quickly.
Yeah, which is what I thought would happen. Excellent. Thank you, Peter, very much. New business. You want to tell us about the grants and aid letter of intent regarding grants and aid from the state of Vermont?
Yes. So every year for the past 3 years, the state has provided an opportunity for grant funding to assist towns into coming into a compliance with Act 64, which is Vermont's Clean Water Act. This funding's come through the grants and aid funding, and this program is, while the funds come from the state, the program is actually administered by the regional planning commissions. Normally we hear about this in June, maybe July. Due to COVID, there's a several month delay, and there was initially some uncertainty as to whether this funding will be available. And we were notified 2 weeks ago that it is available this year again. To participate, Guilford needs to submit a letter of intent before on or before the 30th of this month. Should we apply and be awarded the grant, it would be $30,000 plus a 20% share by the town. So this is a $5,000 increase over our grant from last year, which I just submitted for reimbursement for last week.
Right, and as I read it, it would be that the state would, if we got the grant, it would be for 24,000, and the town of Guilford would put in 6,000.
From my conversation with Jeff Nugent, it's 30,000 plus 6,000 from the town for a total of 36,000.
Oh, I see. Okay, and that wasn't clear in what I read then. Do we need a motion
Yeah, so if someone could move to approve the letter of intent to participate in the 2021 grants and aid program, that would be sufficient.
Do I have a motion?
Looks like
Rusty.
Miranda moved.
Oh,
Or Rusty, okay. I will
Rusty
put Rusty
did.
down.
And I think Veranda seconded.
Okay.
Is there any discussion? I shall take the roll then. Miranda? Rusty?
Aye.
Zahn?
Aye.
Michael?
Aye.
Richard? Aye. The motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much. I hope we get the grant. Okay, now we're on to some updates. Peter, can you briefly update us on COVID-19 in the state?
I will be happy to do so.
I hope we're doing better than Europe. I just was reading about what's going on in Europe, and it's really bad.
Yes, Vermont is doing better than Europe at the moment. So this is a variety of updates from the state as well as from the local EMD meeting that we've been having. So until last week, the National Guard had been doing a majority of the COVID testing in the Windham County region. They'd been testing on Tuesdays in Brattleboro. The Tuesday testing is now being handled by the local Vermont Department of Health office. The number of local families requiring emergency housing has decreased slightly in Windham County, which is good news. However, there's still a overall housing shortage in both Windham and Windsor counties, which is unfortunately being compounded by COVID-19. So on other positive news, the state still has free meals available to families impacted by COVID-19. And these are available to any family. It is not dependent on income or any other status. If you have been impacted by COVID-19, whether you are sick, a family member is sick, you are eligible. These meals are available to be picked up at 80 Flat Street in Brattleboro on Monday through Thursday from 8 until 3 p.m. Additional resources are also being made available for individuals or families who are struggling to self-isolate and do not have an appropriate location to do so, and they can contact the local Department of Health office and get some resources for help doing that. Unfortunately, the state has seen several new outbreaks. and the Department of Health is currently investigating those. Although the numbers in Vermont are still the lowest in the country, other states that shared similar numbers to Vermont have now seen dramatic increases in new cases. At the meeting on Tuesday, they were saying that this has been primarily attributed to travel, and the Department of Health is reminding folks to not let your guard down, thinking, and that travel has primarily been with family or close friends. So the Department of Health is reminding people to not let your guard down, thinking it's safe traveling with family who live in a different household or with close friends. Encourage Vermonters to continue practicing social distancing, wearing masks, and washing your hands frequently. And that is all I have.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions or comments? Thank you for that update, Peter. And now on to Zahn on the DVCUD update.
Great. Thank you, Richard. I have 6 points I want to just let you know about. First of all, the DVCUD is now going to be known, you'll hear about it referred to as DV Fiber. That's the name of the corporation that will eventually, that is rolling out now from the DVCUD. So the CUD is governing DV Fiber as we go forward. Some of you may have been have heard about, certainly from emails from Peter, about the Windham Regional Commission's business plan for the development of a 100% coverage internet plan business plan for the region. And I'd just like to say that if you want to read that report, it's pretty interesting, actually. It's available on the Windham Regional Commission's website. They have a broadband page. You can find the report there. There's a set of slides there you can look at, too, for a little bit briefer section of that. The main thing that I drew away from that report, two things, but the first thing is that this business that is moving forward, called DV Fiber, is a feasible business. There are other CUDs that are having feasibility studies done, and they are not coming out with such good reports as DV Fiber. So we're in a good position.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, it's good. It's very good. The second thing I want to talk about is that the institution of DV Fiber, this whole organization it's like a startup, and it's going from nowhere, and it's moving very fast. So there's a lot of institutional setup involved. I'm just, I think I told you last time that I'm in charge. I'm leading the communications effort for the DVCUD, and so we're putting together all the communications structures, but we're also in charge of the internal ways in which the organization is functioning from a tech point of view. And so that's all beginning to be structured up, customer relations management and all that. Financial systems are being put in place, and all that's being put up together. The third thing is there are numerous grants that we have numerous granting partners at this point. We're continuing to seek more and more granting partners, including the state, the federal government, the Vermont Community Foundation, and BDCC has actually supported the effort so far. The fourth thing I want to talk about is that there's a timeline you'd read in the Windham Regional Commission about how each town can expect to when it can expect to see coverage coming to their town, based on all the elements that have been put together in the plan. And Guilford, as I've said before, is not at the top of the list. And I think it's really important for all of us to understand that this organization is functioning, is holding strong to the idea that we want to make sure that every premise in the DVCUD in the entire district will get a broadband connection. And that's a very strong goal, because we're already seeing plans coming from current and potential competitors to try to win customers, is that the right word? To try to provide coverage for part of the district and not all of the district. And this organization's concern is going to be for everyone in the district. So that means that our timeline is different than you might hear some other organizations being able to, or other corporate interests being able to offer. So when people ask you, and people are asking me, when people ask you, what's the timeline for Guilford? At this moment, it looks like we could expect full 100% coverage of 100 up and 100 down within 5 years. Not sooner, unless we get more money into the system. And we're looking at every possibility for that. The soonest anyone in the entire district could expect to see anything is within 2 years. Okay, that's basically about what's going on with the DV fiber. I want to tell you about some efforts that I'm doing here in town just to help people learn more about it. I have talked with the folks at the Gazette, and I'll be writing a column in every Gazette until this is all done, or until I'm no longer on the select board or no longer representing the Guilford in the on the board, the governing board there. So there will be a Gazette column every quarter. And I've talked with Michael, and we're looking at the possibility of putting up organizing a community meeting about all this, to be able to answer questions and look at the possibility of setting up a Guilford, potentially setting up a Guilford communications union board for the town of Guilford that could really get to know about all this stuff and really take hold of it and help us move the process forward. That's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Zahn. That was a spectacular report. And are there any comments or questions for Zahn in regard to his report? Sounds good. We once again, I'm sure I'm speaking on behalf of all of our colleagues, thanking you for all the time that both of you, Michael and Zahn, are putting into this. It's a lot of time, and I think you're making great progress. And
it's going to be amazing as it rolls out. It'll happen. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, on to the tax revenue update. Peter, you're on mute. You're on mute.
Yep. I just had to turn it off. Thank you. I spoke with Penny this afternoon, and as of today, here are where our tax revenues are at. As of today, Penny and her team have collected $4,876,113.25. We have a required education tax payment this year of $3,369,993.87. Balance for the town of $1,506,119.38. And as of today, so that means that we have a balance needed based off of the approved budget. We have a balance needed of $676,836.62, which frankly is not horrible. In the past, we've had delinquencies of more than double that amount. And obviously, legally, people have until close of business tomorrow to pay their taxes, as do escrow companies, etc. So Penny does expect that she'll see another substantial amount come in tomorrow.
Peter, how does this compare to where we were last year at this time? Do you have that figure?
I don't have that figure. Unfortunately, Penny was so busy today that she barely had time to send this to me because she already made 3 deposits today alone. Mm-hmm. So she was going to get that information to me, and I'll share it later with the select board.
Is she optimistic that we'll achieve the balance that we need?
Well, the short answer is yes. The longer answer is that unfortunately every town always has a few delinquencies. Guilford ranges in the 3 to 4% range, I believe is what she said for delinquencies. So she would expects that we should realistically collect, between half and 2/3 of the balance that's needed.
Any further comments or questions? Yes, Zahn.
See, so I just wonder then, do we need to keep moving forward with any planning for making adjustments to the budget at this point, or do we wait to do that later?
I think that
do it later. But
Yeah, I mean, since we technically residents have until 5 p.m. tomorrow to fully pay up, I think that's certainly something we could discuss at the next select board meeting. But it's looking positive that we may not need to take any drastic action, which I think is really fortunate for Guilford.
Yes, it is.
It's very wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah.
And all of the credit should go to both the residents of town who have paid their taxes, as well as to Penny and her team for the work that they've done in working with folks up till this point.
Very good. Thank you, Peter. Okay, on to the warrants. Who's Veranda?
Oh, I have the warrants. Okay. So I move that we pay the following warrants. Payroll week 10/4/20 for the sum of $6,137.07. Payroll week 10/11/20 for the sum of $5,780.39. Expense warrant number 2007 for the sum of $50,000, $50,539.33. Expense warrant number FW07 for the sum of $51.50 for a total of $62,508.29.
Do I have a second?
Yes, I'll second.
Zahn seconds that. Is there any discussion?
Okay, and so the major expense there was the principal and the interest on the Guilford water line, I believe. There was also a shed purchased by the Recreation Commission. Those were a few little standouts.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All right, I shall take the roll. Veranda?
Aye.
Rusty?
Aye.
Zahn?
Aye.
Michael?
Aye.
Richard? Aye. Thank you very much. The warrants have passed. Now I find that I'd like to move to find that premature general public knowledge of a potential legal matter could place the town at a substantial disadvantage, and I invite Peter to join in executive session. Do I have a second for that?
Sir.
To enter into executive session? Thank you. Is there any discussion? All right, I shall take the roll then. Veranda?
Aye.
Rusty?
Aye.
Zahn?
Aye.
Michael?
Aye.
Richard? Aye. Oh, I almost forgot to myself. The select board has exited from the executive session. No action has been taken, and the time of the exit was at 7:03 p.m. All right, on to communications. Any communications, Peter?
I have none.
Oh.
And I will just move right on to the action summary from the previous meeting. Is I was going to add information about the recent break-ins to the town website, which I did. I was going to send an email reminder to select board members about the change of tonight's meeting, as well as put a notice on the website and Front Porch Forum. And Veranda and Richard were to draft a memo to be submitted to the Gazette about the diversity and inclusion guide. And that was all. And
Okay. I'm sorry. Speaking with the editors of the Gazette, I decided that we would move that communication forward to the next Gazette.
Thank you. Okay, and then actions to be taken?
So
Actions taken, rather.
the one action you did take was to approve the grants and aid letter, which I will send out to all of you for your digital signature, please. And actions to be taken was that I am going to update the select board on how the tax collection to date compares with last year.
Fantastic. Any further comments, questions? Well, you know what time it is, ladies and gentlemen.
Can I
Zon?
ask one question?
Yes.
It just has to do with, Veranda reached out to all of us about, is it okay if I ask this, the Alan's gift? Are we
No, wait,
all
wait,
on board with that?
why don't you talk about that offline?
Okay, fair enough.
Okay. Zon, you're on mute. Yes, there you go.
I would like to propose that we adjourn our meeting.
Oh, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Oh, Michael, second. Okay, is there any discussion? Well, I shall take the roll call. Rusty Marine,
Aye.
Miranda Porch,
Aye.
Zon Eastus,
Aye.
Michael Becker,
Aye.
Richard Wazansky, aye. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much. Thank you for your good work, Peter. Thank you,
Thank
for
you,
your good
everyone.
work,
Good night.
Select Board. See you next time.